Ashley, we talked about books and the importance of having different genres available. What about audiobooks or, say, graphic novels? How do they fit into your vision of school literacy and reading?
Well, I think audiobooks are a really excellent example. I think one of the things that parents today feel really challenged by is time. And while I will always be an advocate for a child in your lap and reading a story at the end of the day, being something that my own children still fondly remember, and my 14-year-old still likes for us to read aloud to him. While that is still, I think, a premium in the parent-child relationship and something that I would advocate for every parent to be actively engaged in, do you think audiobooks provide a wonderful opportunity? My oldest child is dyslexic, and without audiobooks, I think his love of reading now would have been really, really stunted. I mean, for him, access to and having the ability to read alongside an audiobook was instrumental in his development as a reader. But then second to that, too, is in our busy lives, I think there are so many times with the iPad or the phone that we think we're doing the right thing by plugging our child in and giving them that educational app or those types of things. And audiobooks can be a way to serve that purpose. Long family trips in the car are wonderful places for audiobooks. And I know that we had spoken with Laura in a previous episode about expanded vocabulary. What a wonderful way for children to have expanded vocabulary expressed to them and in a thoughtful and insightful way. So I'm a huge advocate of audiobooks. It's how I stay up to date, particularly on my business reading, so that I'm reading my books for pleasure. But I think those are a wonderful tool. And then the other tool you brought up were graphic novels. And graphic novels, I mean, I will say this over and over and over again. I would advocate for a child reading over a child being reticent to reading, kind of regardless of the medium, whether it's a magazine or a graphic novel. And I think graphic novels can so often open up a world to students. For example, at Wakefield, our 8th graders read the Iliad. And one of the ways that we make it accessible for them, because it's tough text as an 8th grader, is to have the actual printed Iliad, but also to have the graphic novel. And so it's got the same text, but they are able to find it accessible and able to really engage with the text and feel confident about their understanding and enthused about what they're reading.
Most definitely. I know that my son went through a phase just a couple of years ago where he wasn't 100% into reading, but you put Dogman in front of him and all of a sudden the barriers were down, and that helped us get through that sort of like dicey phase. And now that he's 10, he's back into reading, and I love seeing him sort of snuggled up on his beanbag on Saturday afternoons with whatever book he's reading. So that was a good bridge for us.
While Captain Underpants and Diary of a Wimpy Kid are not necessarily my favorites, I know they have produced many a voracious reader, especially in that time period.
Exactly. Thank you all for joining us on this episode of Speaking of Reading. If you'd like to follow along and join us for more episodes, you can find links in the description, and we look forward to seeing you again soon.